Hello and welcome to another vlog. The previous vlog seemed to do so well and you all seemed to really enjoy it and like it and watch it, so I decided to do another one. So you are going to be following me around today whilst I shop for my Victoria sponge ingredients, and also I will be delivering the exciting news of who joined the Queen at church at Balmoral for the Craffy Kirk church service, which the Queen attends every single Sunday. So join me in my car in just a moment and I will tell you all about that. Okay, so welcome. We are back in my car doing a car vlogging chat. I really enjoyed doing the last one and you guys seemed to respond really well to listening to it. By the way, it's a good job you can't smell what I can smell right now, because the farmers in Shropshire, somewhere along the line, have decided to do the fields and put all the slurry and all the muck on the fields, and it absolutely stinks wherever you go. It just smells of manure. It's probably considered quite a healthy smell in some places, but it's like that horrible slurry, horrible smell, not like horse muck, which is probably the more healthier smell. But anyway, exciting news. Let's move on from muck and let's talk about the royals. Who is at church with the Queen this week? Oh, by the way, I just need to concentrate on this bit of driving because there's roadworks. Okay, hang on. They're doing line painting. Okay, back to it. So, who was seen at church at Balmoral with the Queen? Well, of course, we had the Queen leaving in the first car, and she was accompanied by the Duke of Edinburgh, who was sat next to her. Now, we haven't seen him in quite a while, and people were wondering how he was, how he's doing. Well, he certainly looked pretty fine to me. He seemed in perfect, fine, healthy fettle to me. Oh, by the way, the pictures of this, I will link to the pictures in the description, so you can go and have a look at the pictures, and then please come back to this video where you can comment about what you've seen. So who was in the next car? Well, the Wessexes are still there. We saw Lady Louise and Prince Edward last week. Well, this time we see Lady Louise and Prince Edward, but also Sophie, the Countess of Wessex. So whether she was there last week or not, we do not know. We will probably never know, but we do know that they are all there together this week as a family unit. So it was really lovely to see all of the Wessexes at Balmoral this week. Who was in the next car following? Well, we had the Tindalls. So we had Zara and Mike Tindall in a car of their own, and they had a chauffeur. And finally, the pictures that I saw showed Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, and she was driving herself. There you go. I mean, I think that's really a rather amazing turnout for the Queen at Balmoral. She seems to be having a lot of her family there in one go. Usually they will come in bits and bobs, but it's nice to see all of them there together. So this seems like quite a main holiday week for the royals at Balmoral. So again, please go look at those photos, come back to this video and let me know exactly what you think about them. Now, I wanted to also talk a little bit about last night's live chat. If you don't know, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, I do a weekly talk show about the British royal family every Saturday, live at 10 o'clock British time, which is GMT. So if you want to find out what time that is for you, please type British time or UK time into Google, and it will tell you how many hours ahead or in front you are, so that you can make it live. And it's always fun to join in on the chat room. I have a really good community of people and we all have lots of fun talking about the royals, but last night's chat was a little bit of a disaster. So I did a pre-chat before I went live for the actual chat, and that was fine. Everything worked. It was a really good chat. And then I went on to the live chat, and little did I know, but it was blurry. There was some kind of problem with the connection. I didn't know about it until probably 20 minutes in. Everyone kept screaming at me, you're blurry, you know, adjust this or adjust that. And I kept thinking, I never ever adjust my camera. I'm the sort of person where I like to plug things in and they work. So I never alter any settings. So I knew it wasn't to do with my camera settings. It wasn't about adjusting this or adjusting that, because I never do that. I just plug it in and go. So I knew it was probably something a little bit more out of my control that I had nothing to do with. So it was probably likely some kind of connection, the broadband, YouTube, I don't know, but there was a problem, so I had to cut that chat short. And I did that just before I was getting to the part where I wanted to show some packages, some parcels which I'd been gifted through my Amazon wish list and also my PO box address. So I said in last night's chat I was going to come on perhaps tonight and do a live pop-up show where I do those openings, and hopefully that will obviously, you know, work out a lot better. Okay, so I've reached my journey, so I'll just talk to you a little bit longer about my experience last night. So I will be completing my Talk of the Crown talk show tonight. If you're watching this on catch up, do not worry, we'll probably have made that video by the time you're watching this, so I will link to that video in this description so that you can carry on and find it. Right, so I have my trusty shopping bag with me, and I'm going to take you along with me to the shops, and I will film me buying some of the ingredients which I need. Now, the thought struck me the other day that I didn't really film much of, for example, the car park and location where I am, and it kind of struck me that, you know, a car park is a car park. I'm sat on a car park, but you might not have seen a British car park, and as these life vlogs are kind of, you know, to show you British life, I thought, you know, maybe you'd like a little shot of the car park, of what I can see. I mean, okay, don't get too excited, it's just a car park, but hey, it's a British car park. So this is what I can see from my car. I'm actually at a Sainsburys, which is a well-known supermarket in the UK. There is the actual shop itself, the big long white building. And of course, this is the car park that I am now sat on. I will go now and you can join me back in the Sainsburys supermarket. Hello, I am back in the car, and I will insert somewhere in here clips of me inside the supermarket trying, and I do stress trying, to do this shopping for this recipe. Okay, so just having a little walk through the aisles, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. I'm still trying to get used to doing this kind of vlogging. Now, I'm looking for the butter, so let's go. It's not the yogurt aisle, it's definitely this aisle, which is, yes, it has the butter. So the recipe calls for unsalted, softened butter. I'm not sure if these are quite the right ones. Let's look a little bit more. Does it mean the big blocks of butter that are quite hard, or does it mean the tubs that are quite soft? So here we have an organic one, which probably Prince Charles would be quite happy with. In fact, I'd love some Highgrove butter. And we have some President butter. I'm not quite sure if it's that one. I might go for this unsalted soft Lurpak spreadable. Still not quite sure it's the right one though. Okay, let's get these eggs. I think these are good enough. 6, yes, they're not broken, which is really, really good. Always check your eggs. I'm confused, which sugar? Help! So, as you know, I wrote down the recipe about what the recipe required, what ingredients it needed, and I'm going to show you in my shopping bag in a little moment. I'll turn the camera around and you can see exactly what I bought, but I will tell you a little bit about my experience. It's not all good. So I'm going to turn the camera around and you can take a look at what is in this bag. I will talk about the prices as well, but I want to show you exactly what I got. So we'll start with something that's not for the Victoria sponge, and that is my shower gel. I just have a basic shower cream, because when I was at school they once told me that even with all these expensive ones it's pretty much exactly the same, so I just use a basic shower cream unless of course I want something particularly special. So I chose McDougall's self-raising flour. let the camera focus. McDougall's self-raising flour, which cost £1.35. I then went for the Sainsbury's own sugar for buttercream and icings, which was 80p. Now, I am going to show you, I'm going to pick out of the bag the jam that I chose, which was on offer, and it's Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Strawberry Conserve, and it does look rather delicious. And if I just have a look at my receipt, the Strawberry Conserve was £1.25. Now, the eggs, I went for free range because it did actually specify free range, and they cost £1.50. Now, I only need 3 eggs, but I've got 6, so I can obviously use them for something else. I did get extra large because it didn't tell me what size I need. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now, the butter, I was a little bit confused with the butter because it specified unsalted. Well, I found unsalted, but also it said softened. I took it that softened means this sort of butter as opposed to the hard blocks of butter, or whether it meant you were supposed to buy hard blocks of butter and then soften them. I don't know. I'll put this video up and you can let me know in the comments section if you think I've got the right butter. If not, I'll have to take this back and I'll swap it for the right kind. So let me know in the comment section below if you think I've got the right butter. Recipe calls for unsalted softened butter. And how much did that cost, by the way? So the butter cost £3.25. The recipe also called for vanilla extract. Now, I thought I was going to have to go to a different shop for this because there wasn't any. The only one in the shop was £4.50, which was, you know, too much to pay for vanilla extract. But then, luckily, I looked behind another product and I found this cheaper version, which is still the Sainsbury's Taste the Difference. It's their special sort of luxury brand, so to speak. And I went for Madagascan vanilla extract. So the one thing I didn't get were the vanilla pods, the split pods it called for. They actually cost £5, which is probably something like $8 or $9 for a split vanilla pod. So I'm going to have to look for that somewhere else, and if I can't find it, I'll probably just leave that out. That does go in the buttercream, so it probably won't be too bad if I leave that out. I could probably just add a bit of vanilla essence to kind of get the same effect. So I'm not worrying too much about that, but I will look for a cheaper vanilla pod. Did I tell you how much the vanilla extract was? That was £1.50. Now, back to my little problem. So the problem that I really had was the caster sugar, because the recipe called for unrefined caster sugar. When I looked around all the sugars, it didn't say whether they were refined, unrefined or not. I only saw the word granulated. So there were sugars for cakes and things like that, but it didn't say if they were refined or not. I really don't know what to do. So I'm going to Google it. I'm going to go home and Google it and see, or I will go on the Sainsbury's website and type in unrefined sugar and see what comes up. And then I'll obviously come back or go to a different shop and I will make sure that I get the correct thing. You're probably all screaming at me now, those bakers of you. I mean, I do like a bit of baking. I have done some baking, but when I'm following a particular recipe that calls for very specific items, I don't always know exactly what they are. So anyway, I'm going to go and find out exactly what I need for that. But I do have the basics. I have pretty much all of the ingredients that I need, apart from the sugar and the split vanilla pod. So I plan to make this in the week anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't need it immediately. Let's get back home. Okay, so on the way home, I did also want to talk to you a little bit about Thomas Markel again. I know he's becoming a bit of a staple, isn't he? Well, since last night when I made my I'm Done video, where I spoke about Mr. Markel and his comments that he made, and he seems to have made extra comments which have appeared in the media today, saying that he isn't a drunk, that he, you know, doesn't do drugs and he doesn't particularly drink alcohol. He says he has done drugs in the past, but he was never an addict. He said he doesn't really drink that much alcohol, and he said that he was at Meghan's wedding, her first wedding, because there were claims that he wasn't because people couldn't see him in the wedding photos. So he is claiming, straight from the horse's mouth, that indeed he was at Meghan's first wedding. So I just thought I'd put that out there as part of the vlog, because that's what's happening and that's what he said. Right, so I think I am going to turn off now and I will see you all back at home. Hello, so I am back home. I've got my shopping, which I'm about to put away, and I'm about to do that research to find out what ingredient I do actually need with regards to the sugar, and also if I can find that split vanilla pod for a little bit cheaper. Just to remind you, this is the royalties book that I am following, and the recipe for the Victoria sponge is in here, so I do recommend that you go and buy this book. I think you can order it off Amazon, and it does have lots and lots of different seasonal recipes that are proper royal recipes. These recipes were written by a proper royal chef, in fact 2 royal chefs I think it was. Yes, Mark Flanagan and Catherine Cuthbertson. So this is a really good book to get, so I would recommend highly having a look on Amazon, and then you could do the recipe yourself. So I do plan in the upcoming week obviously to film the second part of my Balmoral hamper, which is tasting the products that were in there. So I unboxed it, and I do plan to do the sampling and tasting and tell you all about what I think about it, including that horrible pickle, which I'm not looking forward to trying. So we'll see how I get on with that. I also plan on starting making videos on the Buckingham Palace Lego set, and this is the Buckingham Palace Lego set, and I do plan on filming this probably over about a week, because I think it'll take me that long to put it all together, so do look forward to that. And there was also the mystery box that I showed in my Balmoral food hamper video, which I have still yet to open, and please look forward to that one, because it is something really, really special. So there is plenty to be looking forward to in the upcoming week. If you have enjoyed this video, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me in Shropshire, goodbye.